This is called MCTs, okay? Medium chain triglycerides. Now, this very interesting story about this is that during World War One, they found that an ammunition factory, uh, these people were not gaining weight, and they thought probably they're not eating enough, so they doubled their ration, and they said, "You eat more because you guys have lost weight." And they didn't seem to have any effect. They were eating a lot more, and they couldn't understand why. But they kind of ignored it because the war was going on. And when the war got over, uh, somebody went and kind of tried to do some investigation, and they found that they had to close some of the factories. People left, and they started putting on weight immediately. So they related that something was there in this whole munitions factory that was actually affecting them. So unfortunately, chemically, they were getting induced with something which was very similar to the MCTs. Components of the MCTs were coming into the system, and it was shelved. And then many years later, some people kind of probed about what these medium chain triglycerides were, and they started giving them, but it was a very lukewarm science. And until very recently, they have actually now started to manufacture what they call MCT oils. Okay. Now, what do these medium chain triglycerides do? Okay. They are fats. Okay. They're kind of fat. So what happens is when triglycerides get into the system, the digestive juices break them up. Okay. They break them up into two components. One is a kind of a fatty acid, components of fatty acid, and the other one is the body's own natural alcohol. Okay. Yeah, the body does actually break down a lot of things, and it does produce a kind of an alcohol. Okay. It's called glycerol. Okay. So some people do have some strange parts of their system where they produce too much glycerol in their system, and okay, but I'm sure that's not the case with you guys. So that's kind of disposed off in the system, and so on. So you don't actually see it, and it doesn't go to your liver and stuff. So it gets broken down right into the digestive process. Now, medium chain triglycerides don't really need that much of processing by the body. So they get transported to the liver quite easily, and the liver creates what we call ketones. Okay. They're kind of the type, a subsidiary of these triglycerides. They get broken down. And the only other way for you to produce ketones is to starve your body for 12 hours. When you starve your body for 12 hours, the liver has no choice but to go and grab its sugar from the fats. And as it breaks down the fats, it releases some of the triglycerides, and then the ketones come out into the system. But unfortunately, keeping yourself, starving for so long is not a good habit, because there are other processes that take place in the body, and it can be counterproductive. So, this keto diet became very popular because of the ability to create ketones. Now, the person who developed the keto diet actually did not know why these ketones were getting created. He didn't know. He just observed that 12 hours later, something happened, and the body changed. But if you continuously do this starvation module for 12 hours, the next time you eat food, and you actually do eat anything that's sugary, and the body will start storing it as fat. Okay. You start training your body to do something else. The body will think there's a famine. Okay. Now we've got millions of years of evolution behind us. The body has gone through these periods of starvation and famines and harsh winters. So the body automatically stores fat for those reasons. And that's blueprinted in our genetics. So we don't want to artificially create those circumstances again. Okay. So now these ketones also can pass from the blood into the brain. Now the brain usually prefers glucose as a means to burn, because when you think, the brain actually consumes glucose. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to lose blood sugar, start thinking about it. I think I should lose weight. I think my sugar should go down. Yeah, whatever. So when you think, it'll go down. But ketones can be a secondary source of this energy source. Okay. Now, cold pressed coconut oil is the best natural source that you have, and I recommend 1 tablespoon across the day. If you want to do it as 1 teaspoon 3 times a day, or you want to do 1 tablespoon, it's great. Okay. Now, they have now been able to process oils like this, and they remove lauric acid. Lauric acid is one of the largest components in coconut oil, and there's a lot of debate whether it really is beneficial or not beneficial, but they've not really found that the lauric acid by itself plays a role. So they remove it, and they leave the capric and the capric acid. Okay, and we're getting scientific with it. But anyway, the components, the two other components that seem to have a good effect, so they filtered out the lauric acid, and they sell this as MCT oil. Okay. So if you want to go, one level ahead, yeah, you can definitely buy, or just stick with cold pressed coconut oil. Okay. It has great benefits. Now, what is so good about not just being able to be used by cells as alternate energy, it also reverses the cholesterol transport. Okay, so there's cholesterol going all around your body. It helps send all this back to the liver. Okay, and by doing that, it reduces the artery plaque, because as the years go by, our cell walls will start, and our arteries will build up, as we call plaque around our arteries. Now, this seems to help reverse that. Okay, and it helps the cells thereby, just like vitamin B12, it also helps the cells start to, release more energy. And of course, this MCT is actually burn up there. They become a fuel source. Okay, so they can be used. They will be used as energy first. So whenever the body sees MCTs, the first thing it does is try to make energy out of it. Now, like anything in excess carbohydrates produce fat. Excess proteins, if it go too high in your protein level, it will also create, the body will convert it to fat. And even MCTs. But MCTs are first guys who get suspected for energy consumption, and so they are safer. They also trap the long chain triglycerides. Those are the ones that when you go to get your medical report, they'll see that TGLs are high. They're mainly talking about the long chain triglycerides, okay, which are very hard to break down. The liver has to emit, it has to be processed and digested and so on and so forth. And those things definitely get stored more easily, and they cause more plaque in the system. So it's so strange that just the length of the chain in a food can make so much difference. Okay, and there are short chain triglycerides, but they don't factor into this as much as the medium chain triglycerides do. So the moral of the story is, get a little bit of cold pressed, or take even copra, or take even the fresh coconut that you have, not the tender coconut, the nice ripened one where you have to break. Eat a piece of that. Eat a couple of pieces of that. So it's a good thing to have. But like anything that's going to happen, please schedule it. Okay, don't do any binge eating anywhere. I mean, that's kind of going to be the golden rule. That you guys are going to see, that you're going to have to schedule everything, and it takes a bit of time. After about a week or 10 days, your body will automatically tell you when to eat. You won't have to really worry about it. Initially, yes, you'll have to put your timing and all of that, but it's so strange that after a point of time, without looking at your watch, you'll know what time it is, because you'll start feeling hungry. You'll start that, okay, slight craving will come, and within 5 minutes you actually have to hit the plate. Otherwise, that those hunger pangs get solid. They really get solid. Okay, and if you go like 15, if you go 30 minutes past your regulated time, you'll start feeling really lousy. Okay, you'll feel hungry. I mean, not lousy, but you'll feel really, really hungry, and your mind will only be about food. So you'll automatically not binge eat, and that's a good thing. But these are two things that you should definitely have in your diet. Not religiously, but you can have it. It's always very essential to have these good things. So if you love this kind of food, and what you can do is you can just sprinkle a little bit on top of coconut oil goes very well. If you put it on top of some garnished, sauteed vegetables, and all you do is take a frying pan, don't put the coconut oil in. You just braise it a little bit, and then you just sprinkle a little bit of coconut oil on top of it, and it makes a great snack. So otherwise, if you're fine by just taking it with the teaspoon, fantastic. I mean, that's straight direct to the bank. So uh, it's kind of now becoming a wonder food, and you do get uh, MCT oils put in other supplements as well. So they are also available. So, whoops, that's a blank screen. So I'm ready for any question and answers. I've kind of sped up the session. So anyone has any questions or anything they'd like to talk about, definitely I'll throw the mic open for you guys.